Okay, thanks. Wait just a second, give people a chance to get on real fast. So I have to post a link so people have the ability to watch it. And her internet's down, so she's kind of slow too. You want me to forward you the link, Hillary, the email?
Are we live?
I think right now, yes. But she hasn't gotten it up on it, but it is recording, yes. Did you want me to send it to you or no?
Yeah, I guess.
Which you're Hillary at?
Yeah.
If we were all good singers, we could pass this time by doing like a barbershop rendition or something.
Or we could do like the boys.
Because, yeah, we got mics.
I can turn my chair.
Actually, Jim, okay, you a bass. I'll let you sing
I
bass.
don't know.
I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
King the bass.
I don't know. Are we not? Oh, well,
Sort
I
of,
think we
yeah.
are.
Yeah, we are.
I better not start
The,
singing.
the camera is blue.
That would probably be the best thing.
I think I'll get you autograph first before you start
Maybe
singing.
you like-
I think you have to create a channel to see it. I don't know.
This technology is no fun.
It is not.
Especially a rainy day.
Yeah.
So, we can start talking again, because we're not coming to order. So our top five, for this, to answer your question, for group consensus, it looks like we got you and Coochie, Danny, Jeff, and Bill Denton.
Travis Simpson.
Trent Sampson, who we just had, I've never seen a player more important to a team than him. I mean, don't you think, Bob?
He's the best ball player, best move.
I mean, he does it all. He had to do it all.
He does.
The poor kid. I mean,
Does he play point guard?
no, he's like a forward. Okay, Rob's texting me going, hey, I'm watching you live.
Can he see us?
Yeah, and I think he's kind of making fun of me because we're sitting talking basketball.
Okay, we're good, so we need to call it to order then?
Yes, he goes, yes, he can hear me. Yeah, all right. There's a different screen up there now.
That's my, yeah, I was getting ready to do my Yahoo to.
Oh,
Over there.
okay. He says yes.
Call this meeting to order. Can I get roll call, please?
Jim Ashley?
Yes.
William Pope?
Yeah.
Nadine Chris?
Yes.
Dan Weimer?
Yes.
It is determined there is a quorum.
All right, you guys had a chance to look over your minutes from the last meeting?
Move to approve.
Second. All in favor? Good. Bills payable? Surely won't be real quick.
What'd you say, Richard? Computer supplies and service and utility bills, $864.
Those last about a year. It's our utility.
That's the little postcards that they
Oh,
send out.
okay. How come we've not been having very many bills, seems like?
Hillary's got them on a spinning freeze down here.
I believe it, because we haven't had, I can't ask questions, but we don't have room in bills. That's the only one.
So you make a motion to approve then?
I make a motion to approve the bills.
I'll second it.
Yeah, everybody's in favor?
That's quicker than usual.
Yeah.
Everybody's in favor. All right. Well, we have citizens' comments, I guess, unless y'all comment in at home. Let's move to the cemetery mowing bid.
Mr. Mayor, before we open them bids, I don't want to do anything right now with the cemetery. I think that we need to be watching till we actually see what happens. And I just want to say how I feel before we start opening the bids.
Well, I mean, what we're doing the bid for is this actually, if it comes in a certain, we can't let the cemetery grow up.
I understand. But what I'm trying to say is that we may have to mow it ourselves with the in-house that we have.
I agree, we can open the bid,
Yeah,
we don't have to
yeah, I'd
award
say,
the contract tonight.
Yeah.
And in 2 weeks, with things, everything may be better in 2 weeks.
Well,
I
I'm
just,
confident it will be.
you know, taxes with things shut down.
Employees have daily stuff they have to do. Pull them away to mow the cemetery, they'd be down there for, I mean, everything's gonna fall behind at that point.
We've got to pay for labor anyway, that's what I'm saying, that if the bid comes in low enough, we save money.
Well, I understand that, but that's where we get smart with how we manage our people and do anything. I'm just saying how I feel. I'm only one on this board.
Well, let's see what the bids are.
We can see what the bids are.
I kind
Let's see
of,
what the
we
bids
don't
are.
have to award tonight,
That's fine.
Yeah.
you know, and see what we're up against, I guess.
You guys ready? Yeah, 4 bids received. S&R Lawn Services. $1,000 a mowing, includes picking up trash, weed eating, and blowing off the headstones and driveways through the cemetery.
You did say weed eating, didn't you?
Where are they from?
Yeah, where are they from?
Seymour.
Oh,
It is Joseph Swopes.
He's on the railroad.
oh, really? Is that Joe? Or is that Joe Swolf's?
Joseph, I think.
Oh, okay.
Schools Out Lawn Care, Scott Nicholson. $9.50 per mowing.
You reckon he means to weed eat?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
part of it.
that's part of it.
Oh,
The mowing guy, Frankie Jones. He's got 3 times per month on the 10th, 15th, and 30th. $2,400 for those 3 mowings.
He's got what?
10, 15, and 30.
That's the days he mowed the 10th, 15th, 10th, 20th, or 10th.
That's like 800.
That's 800 a mowing.
800 a
Yeah,
mowing.
but it needs to be, I wouldn't put that in writing.
I'd say like 10th, 20th, and 30th, 10 days apart.
We normally, yeah.
I would expect,
Yeah.
I guess mowed weekly, huh?
Yes, it needs to be mowed weekly.
Bat Dorf's Lawn Care, England, Missouri.
What's it called?
Bat Dorf's, BATDORF, apostrophe S. Matt Batdorf, $8.75 per mowing.
Is that Bettendorf, Betten?
B-A-T, B as in dog, B-A-T.
Okay. All of them showing insurance.
One of them has their insurance, another one noted that they did have insurance. We'll get that before, if you award it to somebody.
now, like this S&R lawn service, $1,000. Do they mean a mowing?
Yes,
Yeah.
Okay.
that's what that,
Yeah.
that's what, yeah,
And he also stipulated picking up trash.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's all part of the
That's
job.
part of it too.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of work out there. I was walking around there yesterday. It's,
When would we have to award?
Well, I mean, let's be straight about this. That Citizens Rate drives that, it's time to mow it.
Yeah.
I mean, we can't sit on this for 2 weeks. Either we're gonna award it or we're not. William, I'm not trying to contradict you at all, but we don't save anything by not awarding this. If you want Mitchell, who's $34 an hour mowing, John Greeken, who's 25 an hour mowing, that makes no sense. I understand the in-house stuff, but it's not like they're sitting around picking their nose all day. They're working.
I understand that, Dan. I understand
And
that.
then we have to hire contract mowers, which we've always done in the past. They're 12 an hour.
What about like MoDOT used to do back when we were in school, Dan? MoDOT would hire summer, temporary 1099
Chris,
summer
we've been
guys.
doing that. That's what we've been doing.
And pay,
That's what we do.
well, hold on, pay them $1,000 a month. Okay, they mow 4 times. What's wrong with that?
Because we've already got a system for temp mowers if we need temp mowers. We've been doing this forever. We pay them $12. It works great. What Hillary's done is she's decided to get the cemetery, which is the #1 squawker and labor eater, off our back by contracting it out. It gets it off we contracted this for 15 years or longer. We put it in a house because the mowing company we contracted with just quit on us in the middle of the year 2 years ago. And we had to go do it ourselves. And so we kept that system in place. She'd prefer that we contract this. She said, do you have a number in mind where you thought it would save us money, Hillary? If I'm not mistaken.
And I agree with it.
Yeah.
I agree with it. We should contract it. But we're here tonight by ourselves because of this Corona thing. And worst case scenario, we've got businesses closing, we've got sales tax that's not coming in. We're trying to keep our people working, doing something, instead of hiring other people to make work for them, if nothing else, just till we get over I'm all for.
I am too. I'm just trying to watch what we're doing very closely. Because I think it's gonna get very bad.
They're already working.
But why couldn't you hire someone for $1,200 a month salary and have them mow it?
We've done that.
That's less expensive than paying somebody $800.
Not in the long. They're all their equipment, their fuel.
Mower fleet is bad. Our mower fleet is in horrible shape.
We don't have to remember.
have you ever figured how long it takes our people to mow?
2 people, about 3.5 days.
Yeah, what would, yeah, that's,
So it's about 35 hours
So 70 total hours.
at $10 an hour.
We paid more than 12.
and then we're using our mowers, our gas and everything, so
Correct.
to me, this, I think it's really bad.
That's not what's being said. Nobody's arguing that it's not gonna save us money to
Well, right.
award this contract. That's not the point at all.
What is?
The point is that we're here tonight because of this Corona thing. I'm supposed to be looking, or I thought we were here to look at things at a worst case scenario. And if that's the case,
What if we have our guys do the first or second mower on that, table these bids until then? That would get us over the hump, wouldn't it?
I don't even know. that
What
we're
hump are we
doing that.
talking about? What hump are you guys talking about? You're creating an economic hump that does not
No,
exist.
two nights ago, we were sitting in here talking about, not shutting people's electricity and everything off
Yeah,
and everything and doing with less and less money.
yeah.
And like I said, worst case scenario with this deal, if businesses start closing, the city doesn't get the sales tax in, People don't have the money. I'm not, I'm not against, I'm not against,
I understand.
Putting
We've
that
done
out
it,
for
I've been on
bids.
this board before, we contracted it out. And I know you switched,
I'm
I
for
know
it.
you switched and
What
hired
this
help.
plan does is it saves, if you're looking at saving money, this is what this does.
But if we have businesses and stuff shut down, that means our guys is not gonna have as much to do.
Are you kidding me? Businesses shut down, you think the day-to-day jobs of the city just end? No,
No, it don't, Dan.
the sewer plant's still gotta run, the water lines still carry water. If their house is not working, they're still in they're probably running more water than they did before. We're taxing our infrastructure potentially more. Guys, we have got
Dan, we understand it. You're preaching to the choir.
well, no, we're not, because you're not wanting to award a bid
I certainly am.
that saves us money. I'm trying to understand the economics of this. I don't know we're saving anything. That's my problem, Jim.
Do you think that I just want our guys to do it and not award this? That's not what I'm saying at all.
Mhm.
Not at all.
What are you saying?
I am saying that the reason that we're here tonight is over this virus thing, and we don't know what the worst case scenario is going to be. I don't think we ought to be awarding any contracts.
Well, I got an idea for you guys, so we don't have to make this a big fight. Why don't we, if you guys like one of the bids, pick one and say, we're gonna do it on a week-to-week basis. We can't guarantee it all summer. We'll do it until the city's in a different situation and has to do it in-house, or, then.
And I don't think this deal's gonna be anywhere near as bad as people think it's gonna be, but if we're gonna use precautions,
Hillary, you're our administrator. What do you think we should do? None of us manage the city's money. No one here can tell us what we got in cash flow. You can. What do you think we should do? This is why we pay you to run the city. What should we do?
Well, I wanted to open it for bids to, see if we had anybody come in that was cash savings versus putting our own people out there, hiring people out there. It's come back that way. If the board chooses to table it till the next board meeting, we'll figure it out, so.
Well, that's not an answer. What do you want to do?
Yeah, it's not my decision.
I think we all want to do the same thing, Dan. We want to award this contract. It's a question of when.
I don't want to have to do it. I'm just trying to watch what we're doing.
We play this game nonstop, guys. We did this with the tow contract when they gave us an infrastructure contract a year ago that we didn't act on.
Yeah, that's right. And we have also acted on things and then realized that we should have waited a little while.
Such as?
I'm not gonna go into it now.
Well, guys, there's no harm in tabling it a week.
Well, let's make it.
Sure it is, because it needs to be mowed, Chris.
Let's table it.
Needs to be mowed.
Well, you could have somebody mow it one time until the city makes a decision. I mean, we're talking
Let's
about mowing.
table it till next time.
Let's go over well with the workforce.
Workforce don't run in the city.
This has nothing against our workforce, my goodness. You act like we're out trying to do something out of spite or something.
No, I'm noting that financially, the administrator ran the numbers, and to contract, hire it out, it's cheaper.
You're not hearing me, Dan. Of course it's cheaper. I'm willing to do that. It's just, nobody's arguing about whether we ought to do it. It's just a matter of when.
Okay.
So I'll make a motion to table it till next time.
Next meeting.
I guess 2 weeks. And then if it needs mowed in between then, our guys can mow it. Sound fair?
Vote it up.
All in favor?
Roll call it. Roll call if we're doing a live stream.
Roll call then.
Jim Ashley?
Yes.
William Poe?
Yes.
Nadine Chris?
Yes.
Dan Weaver?
No.
let's move on to first order.
Oh, we have an ordinance.
Oh, that's all right. Got the ordinance first, all right. Move it down a little bit.
You ready?
Sorry.
There gives you discussion on this ordinance. I talked to Gary with the First Christian Church today. He asked that I would voice the opinion he had regarding this. He feels, in his opinion, that 10 is a pretty limited number at this time, and that the county has went with 50 people to limit per public gathering, and he would like to see the city do the same. So that he wanted me to let you guys know that's how he felt about it. And he said he would not go against whatever the city decided. You know, he was understanding, but he was just wanted me to voice that opinion on how he felt about it. So the ordinance as written is what you guys had talked about the other night. 10 people, less than 10 people. So if you want to change that number, we can do so before voting it. Also, the date for the prohibiting of the gathering of people is set to expire April 6th, along with the counties, along with the schools. It does give the mayor the power to extend that date if needed, and the wording says it gives authorizing the mayor to issue an order amending which public gatherings and authorize the mayor to extend the prohibition beyond April 6th to protect public health. So that's what you are voting on if you vote it in as written. If you want to make changes, we need to do so now, so.
And there's an exemption given for businesses, correct, Hillary?
Yes.
Yeah.
Educational institutions, daycare facilities, and business operations are not included at this time.
Good.
It does give the mayor the authority to change that after having adequate conversations with city, county, and state officials to determine there is a need to close any type of additional business at some point. Which I'm sure the mayor would reach out to everybody, kind of get an opinion, and but that's why we don't have to call another meeting to change it because something changes, you know.
So this is the same thing that we talked about night before last.
I think we never really set a date on when it would expire, so I went with April 6th. That does allow, if things get better by that point, it gives the churches the opportunity to hold Easter services, which are the next weekend. There's a lot of things pretty close to the April 6th deadline and that's what the county did, and it's what the schools have done at this point. So just kind of it could be extended, and it can also be voted to be revoked at any time if conditions got better, so.
Well, I think even up, the president's even saying 10, so I think we'll leave it where we're at. Should have a safe side.
10 people? Yeah, I agree with that. Everybody else feels the same, but I understand what Gary's saying, but
Sure, I do too.
I think 10 is safe and
And we might have a different situation in 2 weeks.
And the fact is, we don't know what's safe. We don't know what's safe, and just to err on the side of caution, I believe we should go with 10.
agreed. Yes.
With that said, then you want to go ahead and have first reading? All right, let's have first reading.
Bill number 2020-776, ordinance number 776, an ordinance to prohibit the gathering of 10 or more persons except for the educational institutions, daycare facilities, and business operations in the corporate limits of the city of Seymour until April 6, 2020, or any extension thereof, authorizing the mayor to issue an order amending which public gatherings are prohibited to protect public health, authorizing the mayor to extend the prohibition beyond April 6, 2020 to protect public health, establishing a penalty for violating the prohibition.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Roll call?
Yeah.
All right, let's roll call then.
Jim Ashley?
Yes.
William Poe?
Yes.
Nadine Chris?
Yes.
Dan Weaver?
Yes.
All right. I guess whenever you're ready, we'll do a second then.
This is bill number 2020-776, ordinance number 776. An ordinance to prohibit the gathering of 10 or more persons except for the educational institutions, daycare facilities, and business operations in the corporate limits of the city of Seymour until April 6, 2020, or any extension thereof, authorizing the mayor to issue an order amending which public gatherings are prohibited to protect public health, authorizing the mayor to extend the prohibition beyond April 6, 2020 to protect public health, establishing a penalty for violating the prohibition.
I hear a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Second.
Jim Ashley?
Yes.
William Poe?
Yes.
Nadine Chris?
Yes.
Dan Weaver?
Yes.
Now we will move on to ordinance report.
We need to get a vote on what we talked about Tuesday night with credit card fees, temporarily eliminating them through a phone-in payment to not penalize people from calling in their payment. And it would also be for in-person as well. It will not be able to eliminate the credit card fee online because that's charged by the company we use to take the payments. So it would eliminate credit card fees for phone-in payments and in-person payments. That has to be voted on. So.
How much are the credit card fees running?
3.5%.
3%. 3.5%.
But that sounds very reasonable. I mean, I would do that. I'll make that motion that we
I'll second.
eliminate the fees.
Roll call. All right, roll call then.
Jim Ashley?
Yes.
William Poe?
Yes.
Nadine Chris?
Yes.
Dan Weaver?
Yes.
Okay.
I do plan to close City Hall lobby down effective Monday morning. I watched a webinar with MML. As long as you have an alternative method of contact for the people, which we do at the drive-through, you're allowed to do that. The police have already shut their lobby down, apparently. And they were advised to do so by FEMA. So,
Do we need to make a motion on that?
no, I don't think so. That's something I'm allowed to do, I believe.
Everybody feel all right with that? I think it's a great idea. All right.
The First Christian Church will be doing a diaper pantry this Saturday from 10 to 12 at their church. They are doing it as a drive-through method to avoid large crowds being gathered, and they probably will have a lot of traffic due to some difficulty on getting some of the items they're going to be handing out. So we've informed the police, they informed the police, and they wanted me to let everybody else know that they are doing it this Saturday. The only other thing I had to talk about was shut-offs, but Dan has prepared a handout, so we'll discuss that in his report.
Well, I'll give the overview, but I mean, I'm one of four, so my take was, we discussed this a couple days ago, and even I was in favor of extending the shut-off period. I spent a couple of days hardcore researching this, looking at literally 100 scenarios of entities that have done this, and it doesn't end well, because what happens is there's just an element of the public that just take advantage of the fact that there are extensions and they just won't pay. And And I use an example of 2011 when that F5 tornado struck Joplin. A few days after it hit, Governor Nixon issued Executive Order 1119. I've got a copy for everyone, which it suspended premiums for paying all types of insurance, whether it was auto, home, medical. And it seemed like a really good gesture. I mean, it kind of hit with F5 tornado. Well, it had a terrible end effect because, quite frankly, more than 40% of people in the two counties, Newton and Jasper, quit paying any of their insurance premiums. They paid none. In turn, got this from the state, 14 different mutual insurance companies went broke by December because no premiums were coming in.
The big one Barton did and had to get bailed out by
Farm Bureau. Well, I've got that listed. 3 survived because they were bought by Farm Bureau.
Yep.
I figured you might. Anyway, and I think we need to look at that on shutoffs because we will have chronically bad payers that will take advantage of this and they just won't pay. And yeah, at some point they got to pay the fiddler, but when they do, they'll leave town with a big utility bill that my gosh, we'll never get our money back.
Could you extend the date to pay it, like give them the next
Well,
10 days?
my suggestion is this. I think we need to give either the administrator, I think the administrator would be the one that would have the power. I think we should do it on a case-by-case basis. I think that there will be people affected by COVID-19. There will be people that are infected and can't go to work. And if those people come and let Hillary know that's their situation, I trust her to make the right decision on that. I think we should, instead of a blanket no shut off, I think we should do it. If they present evidence that COVID-19 has directly impacted them, then she has the authority to extend the shut off.
I think
She has that authority now, doesn't she?
I think you put a lot of burden on Hillary.
I prefer it to be that way than to extend it to everybody or extend it to nobody.
Right.
If someone loses their job because of this, I don't believe we should shut them off if they're struggling to pay for a little while.
Here's the problem you run into. If you make it a case-by-case basis and we extend somebody for 30 days or forgive or reduce, and then you don't do the same thing because you claim that that person wasn't affected by COVID, you run into issues with.
Then why don't we put a caveat on the case-by-case to where they have to present direct evidence that COVID-19 has affected them? I mean,
we can do that, but then if someone comes in and they've got paperwork to show that they lost their job because their boss had corona and shut the business down, you're gonna have to, you gotta treat everyone the same, is what I'm saying. And so
I trust her to do that.
yeah, no, I do too. I think it's a big burden on her, but if Hillary and the city.
The other thing to consider is last night, as all of us know, Trump signed the legislation that every adult is going to get $1,000. Every child's going to get $500. So a family of 4 is going to theoretically get $3,000 the first week of April. And then there's a second check coming the first week of May for the same amount. I mean, that's not theory, that's law. And so, with these checks coming out, that gives anyone ample resources to pay utility bill. A residential home typically is going to be, $150 at the most. So, getting that kind of check, they're going to have some financial resources to pay utility bill. That's just my take on it. I don't know, others might think different.
Well, I know.
And I'm open to whatever.
From people paying,
Well, the
They can
government,
put it off.
the government's extended the tax deadline now from April 15th to July 15th.
Yeah.
Right.
Once you once you give people who are having difficulty,
Because of COVID,
30 days because of COVID, or 45 days,
but on a case-by-case basis.
if
Yes.
they demonstrate paperwork.
Yeah, demonstrate that. That's my take. I don't know if you guys agree or not, but
I agree with
Well, I
that.
agree with that.
I just, going back to the earlier discussion, now this is something that financially scares me to death for the city because we've got to pay for that power. We get a bill every month from Mudgemuck and they want their money. And
Right.
whether we get paid for it or not, we got to pay for it.
Yep.
And that could, we're, what are we spending power every year? $3 million?
Over 100 a month.
I mean, well, I mean, our total,
Yeah.
our
It's
cost.
yeah.
Yeah, it's, so, you know, it could really run us behind if we had people abusing this, like the Joplin scenario. I'm not saying it'll happen, but it could happen.
Makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
So do we need to make a motion on that, or?
Yes.
No?
We do. We do need.
We do.
Yes.
Oh, we do. All right, well, who wants to make a motion?
Well, let me see how I word this and see if you guys agree. This is, I would say that the city will extend, shut-offs, to electric customers on a case-by-case basis, providing they show impact from COVID-19. With that judgment to be made by the city administrator. That would be my motion.
Chris, does that sound all right?
Yeah, I think we should, in with that motion, Dan, I think you should say so that we have some firm criteria with which applicants know that, you know, if they can demonstrate that criteria, that they can get an extension and maybe the city will waive the late fees or whatever.
Okay,
As long as everyone's treated the same, then we're good.
okay. And I'll add to that motion that there will be a firm criteria established for the COVID-19 proof of impact. And I think we could trust you guys to come up with the city staff to come up with that criteria. I think it's gonna be pretty common sense.
We can
Right?
come up with a short policy. I can draft one tonight. and-
Okay.
For Hillary.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Roll call, whenever you get a moment.
Jim Ashley,
Yes.
William Poe,
Yes.
Nadine Chris,
Yes.
Dan Weaver.
Yes.
Since I guess we're in the Alderman's report, so, we got anything else?
Are we an Alderman report?
I guess so.
No, I don't have anything for Alderman's report, surprisingly. No, I don't.
Let's move to Nadine then.
I don't either.
Well, you gonna tell me it was wet outside today?
It was wet outside today. We'll get wetter.
You got it?
No, we're not gonna get in no hurry about opening up the restrooms on the square, correct?
Right.
With everything going on? Okay. That's a good move.
We might have a gathering of 11 in there.
Well, with everything going on.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Jim?
I don't have anything.
All right, well, as far as my report goes, I want to thank you, Hillary, for sending the backhoe down on Center Street. Clear up there. I've been thinking about grabbing my tater rake and going down there. Today I went through there and water just cooking through there. Great.
I was up at the cemetery yesterday, and there's several graves underwater. I had never seen them before.
There's also a lot of graves that are needing filled, and
Yeah,
we do
I
know that.
Yeah,
We cannot get to them currently.
no. I'm sure not.
Other than that, I think we're doing as well as could be expected under the circumstances. Did you have anything, Bob, that you'd like to add to the meeting tonight, or?
Couple of things that, I can still call it 360 churches, putting out the packs. They've done it 2 days now. This is what they're giving, plus if the kids come in, they give them a cup of milk. And today, or yesterday, they gave out 38. Today, they did 64 in 3 hours each. They'll be there again tomorrow. They're looking at maybe changing that next week and not be there every day if they can. What they were looking at is doing on Wednesday only and giving them enough for 5 days of the whack. That way they don't have to come every day.
When are they there? What are the times, Bob?
2 to 5.
2 to 5.
Also, They'll know tomorrow on that. And then there was some discussion too, they just think about, well, if they wait till Wednesday and then we give out one tomorrow, what happens? It's not based upon income. You just walk in and, they count it off and hand you go. That's all it is. Good program, and it's working well on that. And I've been trying to keep up on any conference calls that Governor Parsons has. He's doing different ones for different kind of deals on each day. Like one day it'll be government people on there. Next day it may be the medical, like your nursing homes, your doctors, hospitals. So they talk on different things. So I'm trying to keep up on that when I found that out. We're watching for the weather tonight. I think it's all east of us. It's severe weather. Looks like it's even east of West Plains now. So hopefully we won't have to activate anything. You have any questions for me?
Yes.
The handout I gave you Tuesday night, I feel very good about our community. You can see what the different agencies are doing and how they're treating this. And it's helped me get a better contact with those people and correct phone numbers and who I need to talk to in case of emergency. So that's been if you want to put a plus to all this, that's put the plus to it. And I want you as leaders, is that, and myself in the position I'm in, whether it be emergency management, school board, or whatever, we need to be real careful, not what we say, but how we say things. Because we may know something in the back of our head, the sky is falling, and you put that negative out there and you sound like some of these presidential politicians, the sky is falling and yelling, screaming, you put the fear in people. If you present it in a calm manner, then the residents, whoever you're talking, it's going to be a little calmer, and the mental aspect of this is going to kick in before long. That's like Governor Parsons, or the state came out, mental health. It's going to take a toll on this as we go on. Just not the sickness, but the pressure of, do I have a job tomorrow? Who's going to babysit my kids tomorrow? And then with the type of weather that we're having, the cool, damp, wet, flooding on top of that, mental issue is going to be a big thing. And it could even result, when that happens and everybody's home and all this, make the more domestic issues on our law enforcement.
That's true. You're right.
So I really stress to all leaders, think before you say something and keep calm, do it in a nice professional way, and don't get that sky's falling and everything else. I think that's what, I think you've even noticed our president's kind of calmed down his rhetoric, how he presents things through all this. And I'll run in with this. Governor Parsons yesterday in his press conference ended with something that I think it's his belief. But he stated that he feels that to protect ourselves, we must do three things. One, take personal responsibility. That's all about anything. But everybody's looking to the government to solve this problem of the virus and everything else. You got to take personal responsibility.
Yes.
Whether it's make sure you limit it to the 10 people or 9 people or less at meetings or get-togethers. Stay away from sickness. If you feel bad, stay at home. 2, do your social distance. Keep your 3 foot away or whatever, not right in their face and all this. And common sense is a big one. And we saw that at the grocery stores with the toilet paper and all this. You gotta have some common sense in all this. You know, with this virus, I've heard saying, you probably heard it too, but if we have another virus that causes diarrhea, does everybody go out and pour nasal spray? Because this virus is not associated with diarrhea or anything like that. It's head cold. So those three things, and he said, we must take these steps to beat this virus. Common.
Yep.
So I just want to get down the road for your thoughts. And I'm keeping in track with the state issues. I'm now getting feedback from Greene County Emergency Management. They've activated their EOC, and I've been getting some reports from there now. And we've got a lot of different resources I'm using. So,
Appreciate it, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
Yep, thanks.
you're welcome.
Well, it's time now to make a motion to move into executive session.
Make a motion to move into executive session.
Who's second? Second. Roll call.
Ashley?
Yes.
William Pope?
Yes.
Danny Chris?
Yes.
Dan Winger?
Yes.
All right.
Uh-huh.